Hey, everybody. How's it going? Hello, hello. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful evening. We're here for this Kaiju Go reveal party, I guess. I mean, let's Kaiju Go already, right? But I'm joined by three of the coolest dudes out there, three good friends, three people that, I know YHS on Monster Island wouldn't be here without one of them. I know Kaiju Go wouldn't be here without the other two of them. And so it is just, this is awesome. This is awesome to have everybody together. And tonight we are going to release the date, the venue, the movies, the special guests, some other fun things going on at Kaiju Go 2024. Woo! But first, the three people I just talked about, three of the greatest of all time. First, down here, right there below me, from up in Denton County, up in Von Erich country, Mr. Ryan Wilhem, everybody's favorite kaiju collector. How's it going, Ryan?
It's going great. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I'm super stoked to talk about some Kaiju Go.
Yeah. Well, then next to me, the other way, there you go. I mean, let's be. I mean, when it comes to tokusatsu, when it comes to kaiju, when it comes to toy collecting, there aren't many people that have done the things he's done, and that is the great tattoo titan of tokusatsu, Mr. Jacob Walsh, from YHS on Monster Island, from Toy Anxiety, from Yes Have Some, from everything. How's it going, Jake?
Jay, how's it going, dude? Happy to be here. I like your you always talk me up to sound like some sort of giant of the kaiju world and community, and I don't think I'm that, but I'm gonna take it, so I appreciate that. And
nice.
Hey, also, what's up with that music in the opening? Should we get some music like that in
it's just some generic stuff. The animation was done.
It was hit. I liked it.
Yeah, the animation that you saw was done by our final guest, the originator. I say co-creator, but that's given me too much credit because he is the guy that came up with that first little flame, that flicker that turned into Kaiju Go. He is the wonderful designer, creator of Bangkong and other toys that are coming out under the Chazbro Toys line later on. Mr. Chas Foreman, how's it going? Welcome to Monster Island.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really fun to be here. Really enjoyed the show.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, Chas. That means a lot. That means a lot. But actually, I'm going to stay with you, Chas, because I'm guessing most of the people here in the chat, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. You were at Kaiju Go in 2023, and it was an awesome event. You guys, thank you so much. But Ryan and I had a whole episode where he joined and we talked for like an hour about it. But one thing we never have, not at least officially on the record, Chas, what were your thoughts, man? You started this and you got to see that whole thing come to fruition. So what were your kind of thoughts?
Well, really blown away by the kind of need and excitement for something like this in the area. And I think that's what it's all about was, look, we tend to have to go to these other places, Chicago, LA, New York, for something like this. Why can't we have something like this in the South? And it was that conversation pretty much that kind of spurred it. And we made it happen. And we couldn't have done it without all the great support we had from the vendors, from the attendees, of course, and from the venue. And so this year, I think we're just going to be building on that. And I think we've got the scene and setting, and the talent, which kind of has all the sophistication of a fine art gallery show, but the attitude and vibe of a house party. Yeah. And so I think that is really special about this place. It's not a typical toy show where you're going and people are selling things you can buy at the big box stores, right? This is pure art that we're talking about. And we're talking about classic films too, in a very special, iconic building, which I won't give the name away just yet. But there's some thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing you brought up, and I think we owe it to the attendees. We owed it to everybody that helped us. Ryan, for you guys that don't know, not only did Ryan Wilhelm do the Q&A and do a lot of other stuff like that you saw behind the scenes. I mean, he did a lot. Otherwise, that engine wasn't running. But we have to thank people like Bob Eggleton. I mean, talk about adding credibility to our first show. He didn't have to come down and help us out. I mean, we could have had 3 people there, right? I mean, like, and he'd be like, what the hell? But we didn't, luckily. And he had a wonderful time, him and Marianne and John Yerkeba came down and, like, once again, gave us another artist. The Q&A with him was awesome. And then, of course, we got some really cool indie toy artists like Michael Morris, like Chance Priest, like David DeGrand that were there as well to add some credibility. The movies speak for themselves, but I think they owe a lot. Now, before we start talking about this year, before we do that, if you'll indulge me for a second, I do want to play for those that maybe didn't get a chance to see it. A nice little, let's just call it a sizzle reel here for last year's event, just to give you a little vibe of what we're talking about. Okay. All right. Let's get on to it. So let's make our first big announcement. Let's talk about the date, the venue, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff. But I'm excited. I'll announce the date. And Chaz, I'm going to give it to you to talk about the venue a little bit. I know it is near and dear to your heart, and I'm still kind of goosebumps that we're actually going to be able to do the event there. But it's going to be Kaiju Go number 2, 2024 is going to be August 17th, so a week earlier, and that is the date that we're going to do. That is a Saturday again, and we are super pumped. But as you know, we can't do it at the same venue because, unfortunately, the Downtown Cowtown Theater at the ISIS Theater has closed. We were one of the last events there, which is a bummer because that is such an historical 100-year-old building. But, we always want to iterate and optimize. We want to evolve. We want to grow. So, Chaz, where are we having Kaiju Go number 2?
At the illustrious, iconic Texas Theater in Dallas. And so, yes, you've got it there, built in 1931. It's a Howard Hughes building. It looks fantastic. I mean, like I said, the sophistication, the scene setting of an art gallery with the casualness and attitude of a house party, it's going to be fantastic. And I like that little tidbit about the first building in Texas with air conditioning. So 2 fantastic screens. We'll talk about our VIP experience in a moment, but I think we can sit about 650 people in the main room, and we'll be showing some fantastic films there. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, for those that don't live in the area or haven't been to Texas Theater, it's really, I mean, it's on every, if you do a Dallas tour and the big tour groups, it always stops there because that's where Lee Harvey Oswald was apprehended. And so, everybody goes there. It's so crazy. You'll just be walking down the street and there'll be a tour bus unloading folks. And there's lots of fun restaurants on that street there in Oak Cliff. It is a cool area. It is an amazing theater. I mean, if you're a cinephile and live in Dallas-Fort Worth, you go to the Texas Theater to see everything. When we walked in to do a walkthrough last week, Chaz and I, we got there and there was a huge poster for Godzilla -1, for the Iron Claw, for David Bowie Moon Age Daydream. I'm like, this is like the greatest 3 posters in the world. But it is so awesome. Right now, you're a local. You've had to spend some time at the Texas Theater.
Yeah. I've actually been in a movie that debuted at the Texas Theater. Retro Freaks, local toy community, made a movie, and so that was really cool. So to go back there with kaiju stuff this time, it's going to be insane, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and I'm really excited also about the amount of space that we have for vendors. There's going to be multiple areas where you're going to have more space and you're going to have more areas for the vendors. I know that was a challenge for us at the ISIS Theater. When we booked it, we didn't know the size of the crowd, and we were all in that one room. This has, we're able to kind of space everything out to fit in some of the vendors that were there last year, but some new vendors as well, which those will be announced later on as we get closer to the event. Some of the really cool vendors that we have coming in and artists and such. But the Texas Theaters, it's amazing. It's just so cool. Great bar, great area. Everything about it is really cool. So I think that's a huge announcement for the Texas Theater. But I know everybody on here, like, they want to know, hey, who you bringing in? Who are your special guests? And last year, like I said, we had Bob Eggleton. We had John Yerkeba. I mean, like, it's hard to, and I don't know if you can top Bob. I really don't. But we're gonna try, and we're gonna do it with somebody that his credentials. And we got two guests again. The first one, I mean, our kind of guest of honor. His credentials are really kind of unparalleled in our world. I mean, a lot of folks in the kaiju community know him, love him. He's one of the nicest people in the world. Just like we said about Bob and John, it's something about we try to get the nice people too, not only the super talented ones. But our special guest gonna be there. Artist, everything from the origins of Super 7 wouldn't have happened without him. He's done stuff for Goosebumps. Oh yeah, he also started his own little toy company that's world renowned, acclaimed, doing stuff for Subaraya, doing stuff for Toho in Japan. He's one of the greatest artists in the kaiju genre, one of the greatest toy makers, toy painters in the kaiju genre. From Max Toy Company, the great Mark Nagata. Mark Nagata is going to be our special guest. And but normally we would talk about Mark here and then do our second guest, but I can't. We got to do them together because I love Bob and John, but they did live on other sides of the country. We don't even have to leave the same family for this one because our second guest, our other special guest, is his talented son, the great Max Nagata, also one of the top guys when it comes to painting kaiju toys, a comic book colorist by trade. But Mark and Max, Max Toy is named after Max. So, but yes, I'm going to go around the horn. Jake, I know you haven't got to talk about a lot because we talked about the Texas Theater and you live in Valdosta, Georgia.
I do.
And that's okay. But when you found out that Mark and Max, we got them, I mean, what were your thoughts as a fan?
I mean, that's a perfect get. And my first thought was like, ooh, I wonder what the exclusive's going to be. That was literally the first thing. I was like, I'm going to get to meet these guys and buy something awesome. I love this stuff. I'm so excited. Like, I just don't think that there's a better guest that you could get.
Yeah. I know Ryan or Chaz, I know you guys have a ton of Max Toyco stuff and stuff that Mark and Max have done. I don't know if you had some you wanted to share, kind of some of your favorites and just anything else you want to say about being able to get Mark Nagata as our special guest.
So
Ryan,
this is absolutely insane to me because as you mentioned, Jay, like I'm a huge Max Toy fan dating back to Super 7. I mean, he does a little bit of everything, right? So like say that you need some accent pieces for your collection. Boom, Safubi Man. There's not a piece that's cooler than this, right? Mm-hmm. Accents to that even. How about his
maybe
table?
Safubi Woman.
Yeah, I mean, like this is insane to me, right? Okay, so say that's too niche for you. You want to stick in the kaiju community. That's cool. Shin Ultraman Gomez, boom, like the newest stuff. He's putting it out, man. Okay, say you're not into that. You want something more Showa-based. No problem. King Caesar, Godzilla, he's got them. Like these, I mean, the scale is like 4.5 inches. It's perfect. It goes with the bigger pieces as well. Bigger pieces, you say? Yeah, dude, he does those too. I mean, like Max Toyco, Mark Nagata, he's the best, like literally the best, right? So He's coming to kick it with us, and I can't believe that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. That's it. Super stoked.
Yeah, and a lot of people know my favorite monster is Garamon.
Yeah.
And this is just one of the most expressive Garamons out there is Max Toyco's version, and just absolutely beautiful. And I see Jake's got one there too.
Yeah.
And then I had the great opportunity to meet Max at DCon this year. And what a sweet guy he is. And we were just talking and saying how excited we were about the upcoming Kaiju Go 2024. And he just gifted me this little ice blue Ultraman here. And
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
made my day. And I also bought, I didn't bring it down, but it's up here on the shelf, a little Frank Mysterio ape that was painted by Mark. So that was another fantastic find there.
Yeah, I mean, and also like, I mean, you can't forget all the stuff he does for Spectre Man, a little Dust Man here, our Fireman. There's just too much stuff. But you know, you're talking about Max. I mean, his stuff, his paint work on Sofubi is impeccable. I mean, it is amazing. Like I grabbed, speaking of Frank Mysterio, I grabbed this Mictlan, this Aztec warrior, and look, this is Max painted this. It is so freaking good.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's wonderful. And then I just picked up this other one he had that was a leftover from Decon, this Axron. Like, look at this. This is just, it'd be the two faces. Like you have the more standard there, and then bam, evil. But it's so good. And I also grabbed his print that he did for the gallery. Was it Giant Robot Show in LA? I grabbed one of his kaiju prints here, Kaiju Shogira. But I just love it. It's has that comic book vibe to it. But it still has the really just bold colors that is, you know, trademark of a Nagata. So Max and Mark are so freaking good. And I'm really pumped. And I had to show this. This is one of my favorite colorways. I love Canagon. And I think their Canagon is just wonderful. And I love this like weird lime green, and there's some magenta in there and some like almost like tan. I mean, it's really cool. But yeah, and then the thing we don't even have it here is like Mark Nagata's 2D art, his traditional prints and everything are, I mean, his stuff has been displayed in museums across the world. I mean, the Japanese American National Museum in California, it's the pinnacle of Japanese American art and stuff. And they had a whole exhibit that was Mark Nagata, his collecting and his art. Like, I mean, that's pretty awesome. Not to count like his shows that he did in Tokyo and he's done in Barcelona, he's done in Chicago. Like, I mean, it's amazing. And then, you know, Max is going to be just right in line next to him. He's going to be doing these shows right after it. And he's, I mean, it's great. It's just so cool. And we're so pumped to have him here. And you don't see them as many shows here in Texas. And so it's a really cool opportunity for people that live in this area to see the Nagatas in person. And then they're going to bring lots of toys too.
Yeah.
So
that's the part I can't wait for.
Yeah, there's our one vendor that we don't, you know, after that announcement, it's all gravy after that. But yeah, so very, very cool stuff. And now, speaking of toys and vendors, I want to infuse a little YHS on Monster Island in here before we announce the films. And we'll do that in a second. But I want to know, like, have any of you guys, and I'm really Chaz and Ryan, because Jake, we got to fill content, man. Later, but you guys have any cool pickups, like any toys that, like, you know, the type of stuff that you would even get at a Kaiju Go event?
Sure, I would like to share a few from Decon recently, and I think I chose a kind of a material theme. And so I think this first one, Jake will really like it. This is a flocked Joseph Harmon piece, wolf bat thing. I got from Toy Art Gallery at Decon. So it's vinyl, but it's then flocked. And I just absolutely love this kind of terracotta fleshy color. Just really spoke to me. And the other cool thing about this, getting it, was, okay, Toy Art Gallery had their basic tabletop setup, right? Like at most toy shows, but then they also had these bargain bins on the side. So you were digging through, like looking for things. And that's where I found this. And it was actually cheaper than the one on display. So it gave you that antique store kind of vibe. So a really cool experience in finding this guy.
That's cool. Yeah. Anything flocked is amazing.
Yeah. Then I wanted to share another piece from Decon. This is a resin piece from Zymot. He's based in New York, and he does these fantastic resin pieces, and I've got a few of his. This is that classic 60s monkey bank kind of statuesque, and I love single kind of formed statue pieces. And it's got some really great aggregate stars and things like that placed in there, double cast even. And then
Colors,
lastly,
awesome.
blow mold plastic. Jay, you'll appreciate these little Spectre Man, Dr. Gory and Spectre Man himself. I think these may be bootleg pieces actually, but they do look definitely vintage 70s. So
nothing was bootleg more than Spectre Man. In fact, for those that follow it, the company Awesome Toys, the modern vinyl toy maker, they do a whole line of fake Spectre Mans that are inspired by actual bootlegged Spectre Mans from the 70s, 80s, and mostly other countries. This isn't 100% accurate, but like fake Spectre Man #7 might be off of a Spectre Man bootleg comic in Brazil, right? Like it was so cool, but that's it's amazing. Yes, those are awesome.
And then I'll save my last piece for when we get to the films.
Oh, real quick, Chaz, look at that. Oh, Max, thank you. Tell your dad, thank you. We are super pumped to see you guys. And yeah, it'll be a fun time. I promise, if anything.
Definitely. So yeah, if I can have a second to show some cool toys. Yeah. I got my first Neo Player One from the lovely J Key and Toku Toy Town, right? Check this out. Pepto-Bismol flavored Hedora, right? This thing is insane. I get all the rage now behind these things. I mean, having it in person, it does hit a little bit differently. And now I desperately need the Train Biter Godzilla. I need the Burning Godzilla. I have to sell like
64?
a kidney and maybe a leg or something to find them. But, you know, this is a really cool piece, man. So very, very thankful to have this start off the new year on the right foot, you know, the slimy foot with Hedora, right? Also from Marusan and Tokyo Toy Bastard, Tokyo Toy Bonsai, we have
his name
Baran.
right, dude.
This is a super rad piece from the Marumon line, right? Very cool. I love the paint on this. Shout out to Jeremy. Such a cool piece. Absolutely love
very
this.
vibrant stuff, doesn't he, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's really cool, man. I have the King Godress chilling right up there. So this is his buddy. They just hang out, you know. And
I love all the
mention,
Miramon. I love they're putting some more effort on the Maramon line.
I think this year's going to be a big year for that. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Hopefully we see more G-Fest, right? But yeah, my last piece I'll mention when we talk about the movies as well.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I'll save something for a minute or two, huh?
Okay, so I know a lot of. So we are going to talk about the movies, and then we're going to talk about one other thing. Chaz mentioned it, the VIP experience that we're adding this year and what that actually means. But I do think, you know, I mean, do we want to talk about what movies? Because last year, I think that the movies were probably the foundation element of it, right? Oh, and actually, it's funny. Yes, El Paso Bill. The films are the foundation. This is
100%.
It is a double feature, which kind of anchors the event. We are going to change up the schedule a little bit this year. Details will be released where the whole day is a little bit longer. You have more time to peruse the vinyl toys, the kaiju toys, and such, and some other fun things in there. But it's anchored by a double feature. Last year we did Mothra versus Godzilla, and we did, for the 50th anniversary, we did Godzilla versus Megalon. I mean, it was hard to beat those two. I don't know how we could top it, but we may have. And this is coming from somebody with that Mothra versus Godzilla is his favorite film. So I'm gonna, and this is not, don't read into this as which was going to be played first. We don't know that yet, but let's go ahead and make our first film announcement for Kaiju Go, film number 1. So there we have it. 50th anniversary. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 74. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a night of space titanium. It's going to be a night of Agent Nanbara. I mean, it is going to be awesome. And I know Jake's going to be there singing the King Caesar song,
Yeah,
Caesar
I
song
am.
all night.
Yeah.
You know, because he is an
I
Azumi.
can't
So
wait to see that in person.
thoughts, guys, on our first film announcement, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 74. Open floor.
Well, I mean, there's a handful of movies that you know, whenever you first hear Godzilla or you first open a conversation about Godzilla, there's like a handful of standout films, and Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla is one of them. Like, this is one of the top tier films, and it's just going to be cool to see this like in a room full of, you know, kaiju fans. I'm super excited. Real quick, let me not to backtrack on anything, but I was really jealous and bummed that I didn't get to come to this last year. Especially, you're like playing Godzilla versus Megalon, and I'm like, hold up, what are you doing? Why are you doing this without me? So I'm super excited to see this film with you guys.
Oh man, we should. Warms the heart. So Chaz, Ryan, any thoughts? I mean, is this y'all's? You know, y'all hate this film? I mean, is this a terrible choice? Are we crazy?
You know, yeah, great, excellent choice. You know, it's again, it's another 50th anniversary,
Yep.
right? So, I mean, perfect for that. I just picked up this fun little vintage Takara Mechagodzilla in honor of that film choice. And so, yeah, and then, you know, you got the spirited kaiju deity King Caesar, and who doesn't love that? And just it's the best choice to me. Yeah, can't say anything more than that.
And Ryan, I see you got a little pickup there.
Super 7 Super Cyborg Mechagodzilla. I mean, this thing is amazing. My wife got it for me for Christmas. I freaked out. I wasn't expecting it because it's one of my favorite kaiju movies of all time. And we're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary at Kaiju Go 2 with Mark and Sam Nagata and Jacob Walsh. Happy birthday, by the way, man. I'm sorry I didn't get to that by now. But yeah, this is going to be insane. I can't wait. I love this movie so much. Yeah, dude, I'm so stoked. And it's one of two that we're showing, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
I mean,
so, yeah. Guys, I'm really pumped about this next one because it's not one that you even see like doing the midnight movie circuit. It's not one that you see even a lot of like special showings, you know, a Fathom event or anything like that. This is one that like I've never seen this on the big screen, but I'm really pumped. We're going to be having for our second film, you know, a little film that Jacob Walsh might like a little bit. This one. A little bit. We did it, guys. We got it. Godzilla versus Biollante. We're doing it, dude. We're doing it. We're doing it. So,
yeah, baby.
Yes. And I'm also a kind of little side bonus extra to intro the movie. That guy right there, Mr. Jacob Walsh, is coming down. One of the biggest fans of the movie, a guy that we all love. But he's going to be there to officially intro the film for all of the viewers there. Godzilla versus Biollante, guys. I mean,
it's the best. I've never seen the, you know, this is one I've never seen on a big, like you were just saying, it doesn't do a lot of, I've seen Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla on a big screen. I've seen Godzilla versus Megalon on a big screen. I've never seen this on a big screen. And this is one of the ones to see on a big screen. Like, the effects are so on a different level in this movie than they are in almost any other Godzilla film period. So this is going to be special. Dude, just watching your little clip thing, I almost started crying immediately. Like, when you see that animatronic Godzilla head, I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to get to watch this on a big screen.
Hits differently.
It does. It hits differently. I'm super excited for this one.
I mean, not only do I get to see Godzilla 89 on the big screen, and by then I definitely will have 8989s, but I get to see my Heisei sweetheart.
You got to bring them. You got to bring them just
we'll
for
do
no reason.
installation.
Have them set up on the side.
We'll do this. Hey, we're at 88, man. But yes, I get to see Yasuka Sawaguchi. She's Erika Shiragami in it.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm so pumped. Everybody, this is one of those films that people love. But people just like, they absolutely love it. The design, everything about it. It's great. It's great.
I
Okay,
see.
we'll have to have a box of tissue for Jacob when he does it.
You should do it. I see Johnny in the chat says, I still need to see this film. Dude, don't watch it. Come to this.
Yes.
And let this be your first time.
Yeah,
let this be your first time seeing it. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, John, I know you have family in the area. Just tell them, hey, it's my Bailanté vacation. Come on down, and it'll be amazing. And you can sell some of your awesome art and pay for it. It'll be great. It'll be great. We got it all planned out, dude. But no, I'm really excited about this. I think it'll be just like Mothra versus Godzilla. Classic kind of golden era Toho, and Godzilla versus Megalon was wacky and zany. This also is two very different films, but you have Godzilla versus Bailanté, like pinnacle of the Heisei era. I think probably most people's favorite of that era. And then we still get more of the wacky, not as wacky, but still that wacky 70s Tokusatsu hero Godzilla. And I love the fact that it's not two similar Godzilla films. That's one of the great things about this franchise is there are so many different types of films. Like, you don't have to do similar ones. You can do two totally different ones. And we still have to decide which one we get to do first. I don't know which one's going to play first. But
there's more.
But there's more. So we wanted to talk about a little bit different that we're doing this year as an add-on to last year. So we are expanding the day, like I said. So you won't only have 2 hours to go through the vendor hall to make it for the movies. We're going to start it much earlier. Once again, stay close to Kaiju Go for that. Oh, I guess I should probably mention Kaiju Go. The tickets are on sale right now. But before you buy them, you probably want to listen to this. This is one of the things that we are changing up this year. We're going to be adding a VIP element. And that VIP element, it's not just one of those things where, I'm going to double the price and you're going to get, early access. Yeah, you'll get early access, but that's not it. Like, we wanted to make sure we want to do something different. And the Texas Theater, how it sets up is we have this main theater that holds 600 people. That's awesome. But we also have this upstairs theater, this small intimate setting that's about 100 people. And we wanted to do something really cool for everybody that wants to partake in our VIP. It is going to be very limited. I think we're going to cap it around 100 people or so, whatever can fit in there. And so with the VIP package, you will be getting, this is the kind of, I think one of there's two really big elements to it. The first one is there's going to be a special Q&A with Mark and Max Nagata. That's going to be there. We're going to pepper them with questions about everything from their love of Ultraman and Subaraya, how they got into it, what's on deck for them. It's going to be really cool. I mean, Mark and Max are just so intelligent, and they're just, like I said, they know so much and have seen so much. I think it'll be really cool. Doing that interview will, of course, be the great Ryan Wilhelm. He did such a good job with Bob and John last year. He's going to do that. So the ability to see that Q&A with Mark and Max, to ask them some questions, to get up close and personal with our special guests, it's going to be part of the VIP ticket. So that's one element. The second one, which I want to make sure that this is out there, I can only say so much right now, enough. Hopefully you'll get the gist, and we'll announce it as we get the official okay. But we are partnering with Subaraya, and we are going to be doing a special screening of an Ultraman 66, and I'm going to use the term feature. Please don't try to guess or read into it, but it is something more than a single episode that is going to be playing during the day before the Godzilla films with the VIP ticket. The only way that you're going to see this officially licensed Subaraya screening is going to be with that VIP ticket in that upstairs theater right after the Q&A with Mark and Max. So those two things, I mean, that right there is an event itself. That right there is a Fathom event. That right there is something you would go to. And that's just going to be the VIP that is, done before the main event. So in one day you can see something officially licensed from Subaraya about Ultraman 66. You see Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and you can see Godzilla versus Biollante, and you get a Q&A with Mark and Max Nagata. We know we're getting Jake intro and Biollante. I mean, it's a lot, but that's not all. Like I mentioned, with the VIP, this is all, you get all of this. You do get that 1 hour early access, than general admission to the venue and the event. Now, this is because we want you guys to get that first look at the vendors, to have that ability to walk around leisurely and look at everything before you do the other VIP things like the screening, like the Q&A. So we want to give you guys a fair shot, and that you're not overlooking the great artists and vendors. So the VIP will get in an hour early, which is really cool. And the last thing, and this is a kind of another just, hey, I feel like we're giving everybody their money's worth here, but this is the kind of the icing, the cherry on top. So John Yerkeba was at our event last year, and everybody loved all the stuff that he did. All the sketches and the prints and everything. And of course the interview. So we want to make sure John is represented this year, because he is so great. He designed and illustrated this amazing kind of commemorative logo for this event that ties in Biollante, Mechagodzilla, and King Caesar in the very like John Yerkeba style. Like this looks just like one of his IDW covers, right? And so you will get a special decal that is an event exclusive only for our VIP members. Look at that thing. That thing is so cool. So this will be an exclusive, really, really nice decal with a John Yerkeba original piece here of Kaiju Go 2 there. And you see his really cool interpretations of the monsters. I think John does one of the best King Caesars out there. I love it. It's so good. So to recap the VIP, you get the Mark and Max Q&A, you get the 1 hour early access, you get that Ultraman screening. Once again, as I get the official OKs and how I can phrase it and stuff from Subaraya, we will release that on kaijugo.com, on our Facebook page, on Instagram, everything. It's going to be really, really, really cool. And then the John Yerkeba decal. So those 4 things, like we wanted to make sure that this VIP package really felt like something different and awesome, and also not break the bank. So our early bird pricing is started. It is up right now. We're going to keep the same price as last year for access to the vendors, for including Max Toy Co. You can go buy your Max Toy Co. stuff, and the film is going to be $25. You can come in and buy as much as you want, watch the film. Yeah, hang out with Jacob Walsh, hang out with Ryan. Don't hang out with Chaz, right? Because we're going to be really busy and we will not be fun. But hang out with those guys. And then the early bird for the VIP is $50. So $25 extra, and you get that screening, the Q&A, the decal, and the early access. And of course you still get the the films and everything, the double feature, and plenty of time to go to the vendor halls and the vendor rooms and the vendor areas to buy lots of really cool stuff. Because we're going to get some good vendors. Again, we had great ones last year. So I'm going to shut up. But guys, thoughts, VIP, Ultraman screening, like you guys have to be pretty jazzed about it.
It's too much, dude. Honestly, it's like so much stuff. And for $50, that seems insane that's the price. It's going to be like, that's almost like a lifetime experience to be able to watch that Ultraman stuff in a theater. How often does that kind of thing happen? Like I'm super excited for that, dude. I don't even want to. I'm sitting here like, let me make sure. For a second, I was like, should I buy tickets? And I'm like, I guess I need to make sure I got to make sure we buy tickets real quick. And I see people are buying them already. Like, look at this.
Nice.
We got it in the chat. VIP ticket purchased.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and so I think over the coming days, I think that we'll be able to release more about the Ultraman screening and some of the other stuff. But I promise it will be worth it.
Johnny, I will. I'll yell at you.
And I just want to say too, like, we didn't start this as like a business venture to make money. This is all about our love of the genre and bringing this art to a place accessible to the South. And so that's what it's all about. Yeah. We're trying to make this accessible to people. And I had so many great people come up to me last year and say, thanks so much for doing this. I didn't have much money to do anything with, but I had enough to do this. And this was the best thing I did all year. So that's what awesome. It's all about for me.
Yeah, our goal is to try to, like just Chaz said, is to get kaiju stuff out there. And we always go back to our 3 pillars, those 3 foundations. It's the films. We want to make sure we get like films that you're not gonna see all the time. We don't, and nothing against like Monsterverse, anything like that, but like there's a chance most everybody has seen those in the theaters, right? Especially the Godzilla fans that would come to an event like this. We want to make sure that we get you the films that are really cool and amazing and fun. We want to make sure that we get you the art, getting Bob and John last year, getting Mark and Max this year, like the kaiju art scene in the broadest term is there's so many talented people out there. And we want to make sure that, Dallas Fort Worth can have the ability to meet Mark and Max and see them and buy their stuff straight from them. And then last, and I think, if you watch YHS on Monster Island, Jake and I are super passionate about this. If you watch Collect All Monsters on YouTube, Ryan Wilhelm is. One guy here has his own toy company. So, that of course is Chaz, and we love toys and we love the ability to get kaiju toys and also support the local and not even just local, the indie toy designer and vinyl toy artist, the ones doing Safubi here in the States and doing amazing kaiju adjacent type stuff, because that is an amazing world. And we want to open that door for a lot of people. I know it was opened for me by people, and we want to kind of pass that on. And last year we were able to get some really cool people along with Chaz that specialize in that. We have Mark Nagata and Max Nagata. That helps. Chaz is coming back. I know we're trying to get some other great ones back as well, and some new ones. Guys, it's gonna be really awesome, and we really want people to be able to spend. Look, we get it. We know that it's not free, but where you come out of it, the last thing you're thinking is that wasn't worth my money, right? And that's our goal. And so we're gonna try to repeat what we did last year and give you guys lots of really, really cool stuff. Okay. Anything else, guys?
I mean,
no, dude.
I'm kind of speechless, Like we're going to G Fest, and that's going to be insane.
Yeah.
But I'm almost a little bit more excited for Kaiju Go 2 than I am for G Fest, which is saying something, It's
different, right? One's a giant convention with 7,000 people. This obviously is smaller, more intimate, and we also, when we talk about the fans, we also wanted to say thank you for the feedback. Chaz got out a survey right after it, and we had hundreds of responses. So we know, like, people wanted more time in the vendor hall. They wanted more space. They wanted to make sure that we continue to bring in guests and really cool vendors. And we listened to it, and we tried to do everything we can. One thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that the venue has that vibe. And and could we have gone to an AMC or rented out a generic theater and had more room and more space? Maybe, yeah. But that's not really what we want to do. So there is a ceiling. This is never going to be thousands of people. We want to keep it small. We want to keep it intimate, because I think that gives everybody, including ourselves, really cool experiences, right? Because we get to talk to people, and it's not wait in line, take a picture, sign an autograph, get back there. And so that's the goal. Just so everybody knows, like, we are not trying to be a G Fest. G Fest is awesome, and it is what it is. We're trying to be something different, and we can't do it without you guys. So I'm really excited about Kaiju Go. Any final thoughts, guys? Ryan, Chaz, Jake?
No, I just think it's something. It's special. It feels special, and I'm happy to be able to come out, and I'm really happy to be even a small part of it. So I'm excited.
I'm thankful and excited, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what you said, Jay, we get to handpick these vendors that will be there. And so, again, we're not looking to make money by getting a bunch in there. We're looking for definitely quality over quantity. And so, and also in that, providing a very diverse mix that's all related to the genre that we're putting out there. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait to share those with you in the weeks and months to come.
Awesome, Chaz. And we all thank you, Chaz, for coming up with this idea and letting us in on it and making it happen. And hey, here's a cool thing. We got 8 months, so things can change, but what we told you today is locked in. It's loaded. We're ready to go. Stay on kaijugo.com. Stay on our Facebook page. Go to our Instagram. All that stuff to stay in the loop on things. And if you ever have any questions, we're pretty responsive. So reach out to us. And hopefully everybody has a better time this year, and we can get ready for Kaiju Go 3 in 2025. I already got ideas, man. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you guys for joining. Jake, thank you. Chaz, thank you. Ryan, thank you. All right, guys, we'll catch everybody later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.